1011 0817 624 8565. The numbers to give you the chance to be a part of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to go down. Welcome once again to the show. In CAF clubs competitions, and it was a story to look out for. We start from the topmost club competition, the CAF Champions League, where two teams were in action yesterday. First up, we'll start with Eyimba Football Club. Well, the story is that champions of last season's NPFL, Eyimba, on Sunday scored 3 goals away from home, but they fell 4-3 to Al Ali Benghazi in a thrilling first leg of the CAF Champions League preliminary round. Eyimba drew first blood in the 4th minute when Chijo Kebama found the back of the net, only for the host to draw level just 5 minutes later. Just before the break, Imo Boat scored an own goal to give Ali the upper hand going into the second half. Both teams got into the second half blazing. Eyimba through Eze Akutoziam's struck before the hour mark to get back into the game, leveled on scoreline. The hosts restored their lead in the 75th minute to make it 3-2. A resilient Eyimba side came back for the second time when Muffin Duku hitting home from close range in the 85th minute. And we're all hoping that this was going to be a 3-0 draw and maybe Eyimba would finish things up in his second leg at home, but it never happened. The drama did not end there, as the Al Ali Benghazi side found the winning goal in stoppage time to seal an important win going into the second leg of the competition. Well, the reverse tie is set to take place on Sunday at the Nest of Champions, the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. But as things stand right now on aggregate, it's Al Ali 4, Eyimba 3. With the Eyimba Football Club this afternoon, quite a story. Defending champions from the NPFL and Nigeria's biggest names in African competitions, if you look at the performance of this side in the past couple of days, and it was a story. The Caribbeans, actually, and the second leg is in Aba, and of course, contrary to reports making rounds right now, that the second leg is going to in States, but of course, that's the story in African competitions over the years. Traveled to Libya, a North African side, and we know how much the North Africans are thorns to our fleshes every time we travel over there to play these games. But Eyimba able to score 3 goals, but they conceded 4.
Well, first of all, I'm excited to be on the show again this afternoon. We want to talk about Eyimba FC of Aba. I've listened to a lot of pundits say that was a very disappointing result. I would understand when it's a case where Eyimba were level heading into the 89th minute, but I think it was a great performance by Eyimba FC of Aba right there. going away from home, we know how difficult it is to play on the terrains of the North Africans, the Libyan side, high intensity, you know, firing on all cylinders. I think it was great for Enyimba to score not just one, not two, but 3 goals and away goals. You know how important they are right here in Africa. The away goals rule have not been scrapped yet. So I think it's great for Enyimba Football Club there, you know, to have something to actually hold on to coming back to the return leg in Nigeria. I think it's going to be a great one for them, playing in front of their home fans. I'm sure they will have a more better performance than what we saw in Libya.
All right, so let's talk about the story about that defense, because there have been concerns about that Enyimba Football Club backline. They consider 4 rather away from home, and if they want to qualify, if they fancy any chance of qualifying for the next round of the competition, they have to keep things very tight at the back. How does Finidi George, the coach of the side, go about making sure that the team is decent defensively?
Well, Mari, I would like to take our minds back to the tournament where they were declared champions of the MPFL, you know, the Super 8 now, where they kept a very good defense. They're actually good defensively. So I don't think one match defines their defense. You're talking about going away in Libya. These North African teams, they score goals for fun. I think why they conceded 4 goals was because Enyimba managed to score 3 goals. When you score 3, you have to concede either 4 or 5.
Sadly, you're here and you have to talk about it. First of all, it was a 4-3 loss for the People's Elephants at the end of the day. And at this point, we should be talking about the way forward. The return leg comes up, according to reports in Abia State Enyimba Stadium. Particularly, what does the coach need to do to get themselves and his team over the line for the next round of the competition?
Nothing to do. Enyimba have qualified. Enyimba have qualified to the next level of the competition.
They're trailing 4-3.
It doesn't matter. Let's score 3 goals away from home.
Yeah.
It means that Al Ahly Benghazi could have been beaten. If it was the reverse fixture, they were playing the next leg away from home, I would say it's done and dusted and Enyimba's out. Kanu Nwankwo has been talking to us and said, come on, let's prepare goals.
His Twitter message stuff.
It's just so simple, basically what it is. If Enyimba could score 3 away from home, when they get to Aba, Al Ahly Benghazi will receive it.
All right. In Pidgin, they will collect. Right, let's look at the other team that participated over the weekend in the CAF Champions League from Nigeria. Remo Stars Football Club of Ikene, and their names. They fell, sadly, to a 1-0 defeat against the Ghanaian champions, Mediama IC, in the game. And it's just a first leg tie of the preliminary rounds. The game went down at the Kipco Stadium on Sunday. Jonathan Soa scored the decisive goal from outside the box in the 21st minute. The host piled more pressure on the Remo Stars defense, but they were unable to double the goal tally. Now, Blyden, the overwhelming headline in this story, this Remo Stars story, is the fact that they barely created chances, and they were also very wasteful in that game yesterday. Now, they need to score at least 2 goals to fancy a chance of qualifying for the next round if they play next week, this Sunday rather, in Nigeria. But people also talk about the vein of inexperience and how it counted for Remo Stars yesterday.
Yeah, I would say, just as I talked about Enyimba, it's going to be quite difficult because the Remo Stars have been inexperienced in this competition. Enyimba seem to know the politics and everything about this competition. They've been in and around that scene for so long. But quite disappointing from a Remo's point of view, or not too disappointing anyway, 1 goal. But the fact that they couldn't score away from home, that's a concern for me. And when Mari, you said they never had many chances, but they were quite wasteful, I think those 2 lines don't work together.
Quite contradictory. But you have your chance. The few ones you have, they come far, few and far-fetched, but you don't take them. Same thing.
Because the Ghanaian champions will be coming to Nigeria at least to get a result. It's going to be difficult because, look, in this competition, pedigree also plays a part in it. And Remo Stars have got no pedigree.
Same for Mediama SC.
Yeah, typically.
Yeah.
So, a fair share for both sides, but they're the champions of the Ghanaian League, and Remo Stars are not the champions here. That's the difference. And it makes a lot of sense, but I want Remo Stars to put in a lot of effort. West African neighbors, if they take the game seriously, put in all their arsenals and maybe a little bit of some antics, I'm telling you they can qualify.
Right, so well, this game has nothing to do with food, actually. Just for the Nigerian fans who are looking to pursue and, of course, push forward the jollof conversation. Nigeria's jollof is the best, and that is not a subject of conversation, of any debate whatsoever.
Come on, have eaten Ghanaian jollof, something else.
Blyden, should we start that conversation now?
Well, maybe we can.
We shouldn't, please. Thank you very much. Right, so the CAF Confederations Cup have two teams from Nigeria, but we had just one play over the weekend. That's because Rivers United have been drawn by for the next round of the competition. For Bendel Insurance, the People's Arsenals, the Benin Arsenal rather, return to the continent, beginning on a good note, defeating ASO Schleff in the game on Saturday. Imade's goal was the difference of the night, and of course, it was a story of this team showing class and quality in their first CAF game in over 19 years or thereabouts. Now, Mfon, you're playing at home, and Blyden has always been the proponent of, if you're playing first at home, score as many goals as possible. Build your cushion and stretch your margin, your goal margin as much as possible, because you do not know what to expect from this side, especially the North African sides. And Nigeria recently have had very bad memories from Algerian sides. Siad Belouizdad, Akwa United, the recent memory of what these Algerian sides can do to us if we win them 1-0 at home. Now, Bendel, in the first CAF game in a long time, defeating Schleff, a goal to nil in Nigeria. They've got a return leg in Algeria. What are we expecting?
Well, I think we should not overreach right there. We're talking about Bendel Insurance. We saw this team, a very watertight defense when you're talking about them. They don't score much goals. So I don't think it's something surprising. Actually, I was surprised a little bit when they scored that goal very early into the first half. So I thought they were going to get probably two more, but it didn't happen. But I still don't write them off at this stage, because I know Bendel Insurance to be a team that scores less goals, and they actually know how to defend. So if they can go to, Algeria over there and get a good defensive performance, I think it might just be good for them.
When I asked about Eyimba Football Club, you said they're done and dusted. Can you say the same for Bendel Insurance?
They're back home. Not going to Algeria, Mary. You know what it means going to the desert. You'll be treated like someone who's not been to the desert before. All the antics, they're going to face it. And this is why they needed to score at least 3 goals at home.
Right.
Even 4. Even 3 goals is not enough at home. If they scored 4 goals, I would have said maybe something.
They scored the first goal in the 29th minutes or thereabouts, and they could not score again.
No, typical of football. And the Algerian sides are typically quite experienced in these competitions.
Absolutely.
Bendel Insurance seem like a new side, but they've been in and around the scene for a long time.
Right.
History will fail us not to mention Bendel. But when it has to do with CAF Confederation, I do not know Bendel Insurance.
Right, let's talk about the ladies who were also in action in CAF women's competition. Well, Delta Queens are Nigeria's sole representative in any CAF competition this season in the women's game, just so you know. And yesterday they recorded a 3-0 victory over USFA of Burkina Faso in the ongoing CAF Women's Champions League qualifiers for WAFU Zone B. Delta Queens, representing Nigeria, embarked on the journey in the Continental Soccer Fiesta with an impressive start at the Samuel Bemodia Stadium in Benin City yesterday. 6 West African clubs are being hosted by Nigeria for the qualifying series built to produce the winner that would represent the zone at the next stage of the qualifying competition. Fola Jimmy Olabiyi opened the scoring for Delta Queens within 5 minutes to build the confidence of the side, but it did not end there. Definitely, we had the likes of course, just checking out China Zago also scoring for the team, and of course, Messi Moku scored as well for the team, and it was a story for Tosam Blanks, the coach of the side, who expressed confidence that his ladies would get the ticket from the group. Well, holistically, a not so impressive performance from Nigeria, that these players would get better fortunes and face, get better results rather in the second leg of the competition, especially for the men. For the ladies, Delta Queens will be looking to consolidate right now. They sit top of their group with 3 points, and that's a good way to start. Stopped at the ladies, let's just do a segue and look at the FIFA Women's World Cup. The final happened to us yesterday. It was a crazy story. Where do we start from? Spain, Blyden, were the winners of the FIFA Women's World Cup. I'll ask you first of all, if I told you that Spain will win this competition at the start, Blyden, would you believe me?
Well, I wouldn't, because of the mutiny that was going on in the Spanish camp.
Yeah.
They wanted the coach to be changed, and the FA refused. And finally, the FA seemed vindicated, and the coach also seemed vindicated. But when you look at history of Spanish football, especially in recent times, I think they've been the best side in European football, doing quite well. Barcelona ladies, but some of these big superstars were not part of the Spanish national team. So from that standpoint, I would have said no. The Spanish national team wouldn't win it, but they have to go through what they're doing in Spain.
Right.
Solid side, solid building. On the 20 level, they're quite good. On the 17 level, they won it. It's the conversation. The Champions League, Barcelona won it, and now the World Cup. Come on, Spanish team.
Definitely. Now, Mfon, let's talk about the off-field stories, because some are funny, some are crazy. I'll start with the mutiny, like Baden said. Despite all of that drama and the seeming controversies and disrespects, in quotes, that the coach, Jorge Fielder, faced in the course of his competition, he never broke or bent, and he's charged his girls to a trophy. That's one. At the trophy presentation yesterday, the president of the Spanish Football Federation, what's his name now? Yes, Rubiales. Well, I don't know, he kissed Jennifer Hermoso, and he's saying, he's apologized, by the way, that he said he didn't like it. You know, Hermoso rather said she didn't like it, but he said it was completely wrong, that he had to admit it, and he said it was without bad intention, and at a time with a lot of excitement. But in the midst of all of this drama, right, these ladies have shown class and quality, defeating European champions to get the FIFA Women's World Cup. That's a lot.
Well, for one, I don't like being involved with the antics surrounding football. I like dissecting the football part of it. We're looking at Spain and England now. Two top teams in women's football right now. They have the most functioning league, if you want to put it now, women's functioning league. The England's Women's Champions Super League and the Spanish Women's League. So I think it was a great one to see these two teams battle it out. Actually, it was a game of tactics where Gabriel Wigman, now the lady coaching the England's team, decided to bring Lauren James back into the mix now, and I think that was her undoing, because it actually affected the way they played. But on a holistic note now, it was actually a good game of football.
Right, well, Blyden, what counted for the Spanish men's national team on yesterday, actually, and of course, what did Sarina Wigman do wrong?
Well, Mari, I'm a man that loves the antics surrounding football, unlike Mfon, who doesn't love the antics.
I love it too.
Let me just talk about the antics around it first. I think the keys wasn't intentional per se. I think it was. I saw it come.
Yeah, I understand the unintentionality of the keys, but come on, what things to do?
Yeah, well, Mari never can tell what you can do when you're carried away. Winning that tournament.
I'm not going to kiss anybody. I can't kiss
thing,
just like, oh, really?
It's a Latino thing, yeah.
I wouldn't want us to, what's the word now? Make it look, I wouldn't want to generalize. Yeah. Right, but let's
and it wasn't an outrageous case anyway.
Yeah,
I think it's something that has to do with culture anyway. Just that in the world scene, it was blown away.
I'm going to travel to Spain very soon then.
Well, it was blown away. But let's talk about football antics then. Well, I looked at the game. It's been forthcoming that the English side may not be that strong moving forward. Look at the Spanish side's performances. Quite decent throughout. I can't even remember when they were behind during the tournament, had to come back to win. But the English side, we saw them strong.
They lost to Japan 4-0.
It was a game they've already qualified. That's it. The last group game.
That's the excuse?
Yeah, it's something. The last group game made some changes probably. And the players get to play and play safe, depending on who you're meeting next. That's the conversation. But moving forward, since after that loss to Japan, we've seen the performances of the Spanish national team, how decent they are. I watched England play against Nigeria, they struggled. I watched England play against Colombia, they struggled despite winning at the end of it, and even went further. So I knew that it was going to be quite difficult for them. Whether Lauren James played or not, it was going to be difficult for them.
Yeah, I was going to go there, because everybody's talking about Lauren James. Oh, Lauren James started, she shouldn't have started the game and all of that, and of course Mutialas did not start and all of that, but were these tactical decisions that influential in the result of the game, like?
Well, I think the better team won it, irrespective of who played. That's it for me. Quality by quality, culture by culture. That's it. And this is always what I talk about antecedents, the law of proceedings. What gets to happen moving forward?
There's a lawyer close to you.
Okay, all right. He'll get to search some of it for me.
Definitely.
But this is it, Mari. There's usually a sign that something is going to happen. Right. First, it was against Nigeria. I could see. Many began to think probably this English team is
not as strong as we think they are.
And then against Colombia, The Colombians were blazing, but they're more quite experienced anyway. So guess what? They managed the game and got the better of the Colombians. But when you get to the final, facing a Spanish side who have a good football culture, they know how to play football and they've got mentality and maturity. That is what you end up having at the end of it. But what I love the most about this World Cup, Mario, is the prize money that's coming in. That's what I love the most about it.
We'll do the prize money.
And we get to talk about it. I see it. I'm quite excited.
Laden just wants to talk about money, but let's just talk England fun because Sarina Wiegman, when she took England to the final, there was so much talk about her quality because she took Netherlands to the 2019 final, took England to the Euros victory, just last year, and we said, well, this woman is set to complete football and all of that, but it never happened for her. How disappointing would it be from a big man perspective that she just could not help England win their first Women's World Cup?
Well, I think she should hold her head up high because she tried really much there. Came against all odds in that competition. They were winning 1-0, and the final group game they had 6-0. And they had a lot of difficulties, a lot of hurdles on the way to the finals. I think it was a great run for Sabrina Wiegman. Now, from Netherlands, she won the Euros with the English women's national team. I think it's a great one. You cannot write away a woman who has accomplished that.
All right, let me add here a bit. When you look at the English national team, it's clearly the work of this woman, the coach. Exceptional coach for me. We were there before she came on board. She took them to win the Euros. And at some point, for the first time from the women's point of view, the English national team was saying it's coming home, though it never come. I think it's becoming a cause. Each time they start saying it's coming home, it won't come home. They better keep quiet a bit. They better keep quiet a bit. The Euros came home because it was at home they played. So if they want to win anything, they have to play at home. But moving forward, this woman is decent, typically decent.
Let's look at the award winners from the final yesterday. The best young player went to my newly found crush. Her name is Salma Paraluelo. Spain. And of course, a youngster, she's completed football, guys, on the 17 World Cup 2018, on the 20 World Cup last year, and the Senior World Cup this year. The best young player ran at the World Athletics Championships last year in Oregon. This young lady,
that's something.
Oh my goodness, Blythen. I wish she was from Bahrain or something.
I know you like performance.
Oh, Blythen.
The man with a good eye. Huh?
All right. Well, the Golden Globe went to Mary Ebbs of England. Golden Ball went to Aitana Bonmatí of Spain, who I think was the best Spanish player of the tournament because she was all Xavi. She was all Iniesta, creator-in-chief for the Spanish men's national team. The Golden Boot went to Hinata Miyazawa, the highest goal scorer. She played for Japan, and of course, it's a story. Well, congrats to Spain, and they have now completed football on the 17, on the 20, and the national team World Cups. Makes sense. Right, so let's do money, Blyden. Let's do money.
I just want to give a bit before you do money. Just a bit, few minutes. It won't be up to 1 minute. Let me talk about the English goalkeeper. Moving to the World Cup, she won the Golden Globes.
Yeah, at the Euros.
This competition.
Yeah.
She won the Golden Globes at this competition. Quite decent performer. But there's been this issue at the media, especially because goalkeepers, their jerseys are not, how they put it now, are not copied, so it could be sold for others to buy the jerseys of goalkeepers.
Yeah.
It's a lot of most of the sportswear companies, Adidas, Nike also, all of them.
Right.
So it's been a total concern. And I think after this performance at the World Cup, they ought to start giving goalkeepers shirts.
Chance, absolutely. Yeah, because
so the fans could buy the shirt.
Yeah.
She's a superstar.
Absolutely.
But at this World Cup, no one could purchase her shirt. And she wanted to even sponsor it, and they said no.
That's a really sad story. Well, that is something Infantino should look at. Forget about the other issues of unimportance. Let's talk money. For the teams that left in the group stages, their federations will get $2.25 million. Yeah. And yes, that's 1.5. That's $2.5 million totally, right? So $1.56 million for the federation and $30,000 for each player. Now the teams that crashed out in the round of 16, everything totaled to $3.25 million, right? But 1.87 will go to the federation, $60,000 goes to each player. For the quarterfinal exit, 4.25 in total. $2.18 million for the federation and $90,000 for each player. For the fourth place finisher, which in this case is Sweden, right? Not Sweden, Australia rather. They'll get $2.46 million for the federation and each player gets $165,000. For the third place, which was Sweden, everything that gets is $6.75 million. $2.61 million for the Federation, $180,000 for each player. For the second place finisher, in this case, England, $7.51 million in total, $3.02 million for the Federation, and $195,000 for each player. And the winners, Spain in this case, $10.5 million in total, $4.29 million for the Federation, and $270,000 for each player. Now, we are reading this list out because of the NFF, right? So we know what they're getting and what the players are set to get. So in Nigeria's case, the crash at the round of 16, Blyden, $1.87 million goes exclusively to the NFF.
Big money.
Take your money.
Let them pay for all the hotels.
You understand? $60,000 for each player. We're saying this so they don't tamper with the money set for the girls.
Absolutely.
We hope that these things come through. Let's take our first batch of calls here. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Reactions from the CAF club competitions over the weekend, the performance of Nigerian teams, and what we expect from them in the second legs. And of course, the FIFA Women's World Cup. Who stood out for you in the final day of the game? 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Good afternoon, Top Gunner. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Money. Hi, Chief and others. Money. Coming back, the thing that I will go to Chow acceptable. The payment for officials is head of Magic. This is the whole world. Then to share within the number, the working my tax. The fact because when you are told with one goal, man is not a condition is not. What they can do, the women have done it. Money, let's not forget, they are not in charge. Today, she has 7 matches. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Top Gunner, for talking to us. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Yes. The Sports Messiah.
Yeah, Blyden the IT. Greetings, sir.
Greetings.
I don't have much to say. I just want to say congratulations to this. But I know he Grace, Pendel Insurance, I'm not too sure, but Remo Stars has done it for Grace. That's my take this afternoon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for keeping it short, simple, and very sharp. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Victor, the sports call it Chelsea fan. Yeah, Victor, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Clarence. I am fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
I've been here with Maradona. It's good to be back. After a very long weekend. Maradona, let me congratulate Spain for them winning the FIFA Women's World Cup. And also, well, it was really a great competition that made up with many competitive countries. And I believe that even the England has been the second position. It takes them a long while to set the issue. And let me say that for what the stories is presenting on other Spain by mistaken, it's not, it shows you the emotions of the game.
All right, Victor.
American people are not like us, like black. So
all right, Victor. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's my take. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victor, for talking to us. We appreciate your thoughts every single time. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Mari.
Top Gunner, 25 seconds this time, please.
Mari, tonight, Arsenal will be going away against Crystal Palace. It will be a tough game. Crystal Palace manager Austin is the oldest manager in 8 years, if I'm not mistaken. To me, that notwithstanding, Arsenal will humble them.
All right.
With minimum goal.
Thank you.
Arsenal will not join the party of failures like Man United and Chelsea. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Top Gunner. I know how long you've waited to make that statement.
Good afternoon, Blyden.
Pastor, it's been a minute. How have you been, Pastor?
Yeah, I've been out of town for some time.
Welcome back.
I'm back. Yeah. Usually it's Pastor Tony, but I'm calling from Sudan. Blyden, I want to say a big congratulations to the women national team of Spain for winning this year's Women World Cup. I also have very good encomiums to continue to pour on the Nigerian football nightmare called Victor Osimhen. He has started the new season very well. by buying in 2 goals in the first match. But I'm surprised at why Garcia should say he's not ready to play 90 minutes. He should allow the guy to play 90 minutes in every match, unless when he's tired or wounded. Otherwise,
all right,
Nigerians will not forgive him.
Thank you very much.
For my team, Chelsea, they have a long way to go.
Obviously.
The result of the game is not a reflection of their play. I liked the gameplay.
Thank you, Pastor.
Players were playing, but they need to improve in certain areas.
Thank you.
The best of luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for talking to us this afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Welcome, Godwin.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I want to say I really appreciate what the Enyimba did. I think yesterday, that was yesterday.
Yes.
He's scoring 3 away goals from home. It's not easy. Despite the fact that they were defeated 3 by 4 goals to 3. It's a good move, and I want to appreciate also our ladies that trashed their opponent 3-0 or here at home. It's a good thing. And
right.
I want to tell my Chelsea not to do what they did in the last season, that they should not give us heart attack. That's my take.
Thank you very much. All right, so let's talk about the Premier League before the Chelsea fans take over this show. Match day 2 started on Friday. Nottingham Forest defeated Sheffield United 2 goals. Taiwo Awoniyi scoring his 2nd goal of the season in as many games. And of course, action continued on Saturday. Fulham losing to Brentford 3 goals. Liverpool getting the better of Bournemouth 3-1. Luton Town's game against Burnley was postponed, and that's due to the fact that Luton Town are yet to fix their home stadium. It looks like a 2-bedroom flat. I didn't see anything. Wolves lost to Brighton 4-1. Tottenham defeating Manchester United. I say again, Tottenham defeated Manchester United. I repeat, Tottenham defeated Manchester United by 2 goals to 0. Manchester City defeated Newcastle by a goal to 0. And on Sunday, we saw 2 games go down. Aston Villa getting the better of Everton. A very sorry Everton. 4 goals to 0. West Ham United defeated Chelsea 3-1. Should I repeat it? I think I should. West Ham 3, Chelsea 1. Okay, so let's start with Chelsea, guys. It was a crazy game, Blyden. Chelsea were so dominant at different parts of the game, but somehow they were on the wrong end of the result. How crazy was that, Blyden?
Well, typical of doing the wrong things, trying to do the right things at the wrong times and doing
the wrong things at the right time.
Basically, that for me, for Chelsea point of view.
Right, so please,
but the biggest problem for Chelsea.
Give some more evidence for that explanation. Thank you very much.
I'm going there, Mari.
Right.
You know, I always try to do that.
Right.
Well, the biggest problem for Chelsea has always been the transition moving forward to score goals. I saw the likes of. Let me begin with the biggest player in that squad moving forward. Not the defensive aspect of it. I'm talking about Raheem Sterling. Many people said he had a decent game yesterday, quite fine. But this is what Sterling did for me yesterday. He was busy doing the right things at the wrong times, and less busy doing the wrong things at the right time. Look, the biggest problem of Chelsea now is to get the ball on the feet of Jackson. Let Jackson get to score the goals. That's it for me. So every other thing you're busy doing, if you don't get these guys to score goals, it doesn't work. And number 2 problem from a Chelsea point of view was that transition. Right. The moment Carney Chukwuemeka was out of the game, you could see the shift, a change. So for me, now Moises Caicedo is part of that team. Moving forward, they have to fix that transition also moving forward.
Isn't it funny that Chelsea are still suffering the same problems of the pre-Todd Boehly era, right? You know, lack of creativity, poor transition, like Bladen said, and most especially lack of proficiency in the final third. How is that possible after so much money spent on signing players?
Well, I'll start with this. I think at the end of this season, Chelsea would only have the trophy of we dominated every game most. Because you want to look at the Chelsea side, completed 630 passes out of over 700 passes. They know how to dominate games, but they don't know what to do with the ball. When you are playing Enzo Fernandez as your number 10, what is he going to create for you? Enzo Fernandez is not a creative midfielder in any way. Chelsea are just splashing money, saying, we want you, come join us. They don't get the right players to suit their problems. So I think Chelsea are still going to have this problem at the end of the season.
Coach Blyden, Pochettino is yet to get his first win as a Chelsea coach. Are there any tactical decisions he made yesterday that affected Chelsea's performance in any way?
Well, I think it's just about the squad for me. Not necessarily the kind of players, the squad structure. I'm just getting tired of seeing what's the name now? This England international,
Gallagher.
Conor Gallagher. I'm getting tired seeing him in the heart of the midfield because he contributes nothing to that midfield. Maybe the biggest problem of Chelsea is moving forward, not just from the wings, but more of a number 8 position. And yesterday I saw, what's his name now? The Ukrainian, Mikhailo Modric. Mikhailo Modric coming was drifted to play that position. He was a shadow of himself.
Right.
And when he went to the wings, still some brilliance at some point, but mainly a shadow of himself, I must say. So they have to fix that transition. Who supports?
So how did they get to
this
fix
man?
it? Because they've got midfielders in the team,
Yeah.
and sadly, Kane Chukwuemeka had one of his best games in a Chelsea shirt, in my opinion, but sadly went off injured, and that's a concern for Chelsea because he was more like the only link between the middle and the attack for Chelsea. So going forward, how does Pochettino fixes the issue of a lack of transition from the middle of the park to the attacking players in the team?
First problem, it has to be more demanding. I think they've spent lots of money. On the Todd Boehly era, they've spent close to £1 billion now. In the recent market, they spent 452 million. The highest, no Saudi side could meet up that. Al Ahly was second. Chelsea spent the most amount of money. So the coach ought to be more demanding now.
Right.
I bring the likes of Raheem Sterling into it. I saw a bit better Raheem Sterling than the Raheem Sterling I used to see in recent times at Chelsea in that game. But here's the problem. One key moment in that game, and by the way, I don't know who told Endo Fernandez to go to take that penalty kick.
Yeah.
Make a mess of it. I've never seen something like that. But he's a fantastic player. Or like one fan said that he's not creative. I think he's very creative. But the problem is in the final third. That's where the problem is at Chelsea. So I want the coach to be more demanding. And Raheem Sterling is not. This game is not about.
I don't want to drag the Chelsea
let me just
conversation,
end this.
Blyden, because let's just wrap up because there's no time. The Pochettino is a coach that fancies a 4-3-3 formation. We've seen him across different clubs, Tottenham Hotspur, Espanyol, way back. We were talking PSG recently. But he started Chelsea's reign with a 3-back formation, and people are still not getting it. Why the 3-man back?
It gives him possession. It gives him control.
But we're talking bites in the attack.
Well, the biting attack isn't a problem because he's played 3 at the back. Chelsea are more dominating, moving forward. Even we see the likes of Chilwell also doing exactly that. The problem is who connects the attacker.
Who finishes?
Who supports Jackson. Because here's what Jackson is doing. Jackson is doing 2 things, Mari. First, he sometimes drops too deep to get the ball. So he's becoming a workaholic and the goals won't be coming.
All right.
Well, Mari, I have something to say. You're looking at Chelsea right now. They offloaded their midfielders. Everybody in the midfield was offloaded. The only player that is still left from last season is maybe Gallagher, a couple others right now. Why Pochettino is playing a 3-man back is because that's where he has the arsenals for his job. Chelsea have a lot of defenders in their squad. You could count up to 12 defenders in that Chelsea
11
team.
actually.
11. Come on, look at it. They don't have midfielders. Who do you want to feed in the midfield? You want to play 5 defensive midfielders?
All right.
So I think that's the problem with that Pochettino has in the Chelsea squad.
Manchester United losing to Tottenham as well makes the headlines this afternoon. Well, 3 points in 2 games, despite all of the talk of Ten Hag cooking. Maybe this food has turned sour already before it's been cooked, Blyden. What are they missing?
When you say cooking, it reminds me of The Rock. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Yeah.
I smell what Ten Hag is cooking.
You smell it, Blyden?
It doesn't make sense. I watch Manchester United, and here's the thing, Mari. It brings back the conversation we're talking about. They're also suffering from that transition moving forward because your midfield ought to be stable for you to achieve that. And I'm saying, get to start the likes of Christian Eriksen in games and let's see how it works. If you want to play 4 midfielders, play. But the transition is Manchester United's biggest problem at the moment.
Same problem for United. That's the story. Well, Arsenal play Crystal Palace later today, and it's going to be an interesting story to look out for. According to team news for Crystal Palace, Julian Timber, by the way, suffered a knee problem. He's set to be out. Zinchenko could play that left-back position in the absence of Timber. Crystal Palace defender Mark Gay is available, and Olise remains out with a hamstring problem. That's a conversation. Crystal Palace have won only 3 of their last 23 league home matches against Arsenal. That's a beautiful story to look out for. Well, traveling to Napoli before we take calls in. Victor Osimhen scores twice, picking away left off last season as Napoli got the better of Frosinone. 3 goals to 1. He lost to the man. And the conversation of not playing 90 minutes, Blyden. Now, I understand the clamor for Osimhen to play as many games as possible, but his fitness is also a key consideration. So if he scores 2 goals, Do you really want him to play for 90 minutes if he scored 2 already for you?
Well, it depends. Let's consider the fact that had some injuries in and off, and he's back with
so
the side
he's trying to be slowly getting reintegrated into the squad.
And it's the beginning of the season. I think in the long run he'll get to play full 90 minutes. But for now, if he scores 2 goals and you take him off, no problem. He's not competing for highest goal scorer at the moment.
He's going to. Good afternoon, Walker. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Melody calling from you.
Welcome, Melody.
I don't understand how Chelsea could spend over 1 billion in signing players in last season. But couldn't beat West Ham. Which West Ham, their score is not up to 200 million. What are they buying? What are they buying in the market that they cannot even win common with West Ham? Then for the internal contingent at the African CAF Champions League, I don't think Bender Insurance be able to qualify. Cannot use 1 goal and go to Australia. It's in Northern Africa.
All right.
I expect that it's done. So other teams can qualify, but I don't think Bender Insurance will qualify. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. I've got news on Mason Greenwood. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yes, if you're calling from Ibadan.
Go ahead if you're.
Yes, I want to say this man should return Chelsea to 4-3 formation. And if you make the second, I know that his work is for him to go. Wants to dominate the game. The only can dominate the ball, don't play chances to score goal. You can see only Chelsea have only 4 attacking ball with them that they don't even play ball. They have only 6 attacking. So they should make the second move. So shooting from the long range also involved in Chelsea. I can make dominate guys attack on a match, but they cannot score goal. Should not make other
Thank you so much for talking to us. The wailings continue. Dear Chelsea, it's going to be a very long season. I tell you the truth. Well, there's a sad story coming from Manchester United, guys. Finally settled the Mason Greenwood conversation. Now, here's the story, guys. Manchester United forward Mason Greenwood will leave the club by mutual agreement after a 6-month internal investigation into his conduct. Greenwood was arrested in January 2022 following allegations surrounding material which was published online. Charges against the man, including attempted rape and assault, were dropped in February this year. And according to a statement United dropped today, the man is set to leave the club. Now, it's been an age-long story from January last year. I mean, there have been clamors for the man to leave the club. You know, the sensitivity of the case in hand. You know, the player's career as a footballer and all of that. But it's now done and dusted. The man is set to leave the club. What do you make of the story?
Well, I think it's good for both parties, you know, to finally put the case to rest. This is a case of a 21-year-old who is still, you know, he has not even started his career yet. So I think it's great for Manchester United to tell him, okay, we don't want you. We don't want you because of this issue surrounding you right now. You can go and start your career, you know, continue your career somewhere else.
Like, who loses more? Greenwood, Manchester United?
Well, I think both.
Yeah.
I think, but depending on where Greenwood is going to. But at this point, it's necessary for him to leave.
Yeah, because recently we had stories that some employees of the club were threatening to resign if he's integrated to the squad again.
Manchester United wanted to reintegrate him to the squad, definitely. Yeah. Because you see the lack in Manchester United forwards. You realize that if Greenwood is part of that mix, maybe it could be better fortunes for them. But he's not played football for a long time. And that's it for me, Mari. I think it's good for him. Leave all the baggage that's followed all this problem.
Yeah,
maybe
go
to Italy, go to Spain, especially Italy probably, where the demands are not at that level compared to England. And that's it for me. Good for the lad. I want to see him play football again. But it's good information for everyone. We've seen all that's happening in the football world. The other time it was Mendy, now Greenwood. And amid issues of rape, issues of violence in relationship, every footballer, everyone has got to learn. I remember when Manchester United player Adams, the left foot back at the time, Alenti went to prison. Decent talent, could have been a superstar for England, and it's normal in football. And that's a concern. And not just about football, about life. Everyone listening to us, you have to take precautions regarding this. Be disciplined, no violence, respect women, and that's it.
Thank you very much, Blyden, for that sermon. That's actually the truth, ladies and gentlemen. We say no to any form of violence, whether domestic violence or any form of violence, actually. So it's quite a sad story because this young star came with so much promise at United, but one decision has changed his life forever. Also taking calls at 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. We've got comments on Facebook too. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Name and location, welcome.
I'm Passionate, calling from Abak.
Welcome, Passionate.
Yeah, I want to comment on my team Chelsea in yesterday's match. Left the coach for that loss because when Chukwuemeka got injured, he's supposed to bring in another midfielder, not Modric, to go and play as a number 10. And the formation.
All right.
I watched Chelsea doing the friendly match. Chelsea were playing 4-2-3-1 formation. All the preseason, I watched the preseason, but I wonder why when the season kicked off, we now started using a 5-3-2 formation. The wingers are not there. So I think going forward, you should change the formation to 4-2-3-1.
Thank you very much for talking to us this afternoon. Welcome to the show, football fan.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, welcome. My name is Marizona. What's your name?
My name is Komeda Wachitu.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to ask this whole rape issue on the Manchester United players. I think we had a Manchester City player linked to such a case. I think about 2 or 3 years ago, and now it's Manchester United. Why always the Manchester family?
Is that what you want to ask, my brother? My brother, I think you're a Chelsea fan. Please ask better questions. Thank you very much. It has nothing to do with the city. Victor, please call me back. Your voice is breaking and it's not suitable for radio communication. Good afternoon, Walker.
Good afternoon. This is Ludo Senator.
Yeah. Welcome, Radio Senator.
Okay, what I just want to say is that I want all the Mario fans and the Chelsea fans to come and watch Arsenal fans this evening.
Okay.
Because Arsenal is going to beat Crystal Palace. I think they collect Mario for our hands, but see what is happening to them now. Of course.
Thank you very much for talking to us. You're still paying about the Modric thing. That's sad. Move on. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Yes.
Good afternoon, man. This is Company calling from Waterboard.
Oh, Company. Welcome.
Yeah. Please, I wish my team the best this evening.
Right.
Arsenal.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very
I want to know their transfer, please.
Transfer. All right. Thank you so much. Well, we'll take comments on the live feed. That takes us to Serie A games over the weekend. Fun those La Liga games for the weekend. That's the comments on the live feed. Felix Ekanim says, "Hi crew, new midfield debut in EPL. Declan Rice bought for £105 million for Arsenal. First game was against City. Nice performance. Wataru Endo bought for £20 million for Liverpool. First game for Bournemouth helps Liverpool win. Drink some water and take a deep breath because what you're going to read below will make you accept Jesus. Caicedo bought for £150 million for Chelsea. And his first game was in shambles. That's what he's trying to say in summary. Innocent Morris says, "I'm so happy for Spain for beating England and for my team Arsenal. I wish them good luck." Luke Mana just says, "Good afternoon, sir." Good afternoon to you too, Luke Mana. Asutom Jr. says, "It's sad to see Chelsea lose, but I wish them well in the next outing." Mustafi Lalong says, "I'm watching you live from Enugu State. Thank you so much." Joseph Subero drops an episode. Not so long though. Says, "I feel so sad for Sarina Wigman. She is a master tactician. Getting into the World Cup final successfully means she knows something other coaches do not know. Sadly, she hasn't won both of them." Also, Francis Namani says, "Women's national team, congrats to the Spanish women's national team for emerging victorious after beating England by a lone goal in the concluded FIFA Women's World Cup that took place in Australia and New Zealand. A good one for them, I must say." Thank you so much. And thank you for your second comment, Subaru Joseph. Thank you for your second comment. Also, Francis Namani, he says, "Chelsea fans, how market?" The Chelsea fans have a question to answer. I'll take this call. Hopefully, it's a Chelsea fan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mario. How you doing?
Fine. Your name and location.
And I discovered there is no future in that club. So I wonder if truly we have a coach. You look at your guy over there talk about the transition. I don't think it's all about the transition. It's all about player being committed, knowing what you want. Putting on the Manchester United jersey, you should play football with pride. And I'm not seeing that. I recall back then when I was a little boy joining the club, I think Cristiano Ronaldo for school, right? Kids play ball with passion, with everything. They give all. They give their all. But nowadays, nothing like that. I don't know if you have a type player on really player that does not suit to the system. It's so annoying when you want to get FIFA go to a field center and watch Manchester United. Going back home, you get the feedback direct. It's so annoying.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope for better fortunes for your United team. Sadly, guys, we're not going to take those fixtures because there's really no time. But we hear that United are eyeing a new midfielder and a goalkeeper before the transfer deadline. But first, they need to trim the squad. That's done. Well, Donny van der Beek and Brandon Williams were both left out of that game against Tottenham. And it means they might just be leaving. This should be the final call for the show. Good afternoon. Oh, Victor, it's really sad that we can't take a call this afternoon. Please do want to call us tomorrow. Well, Blyden Hurricane scores on his Bundesliga debut. That's a beautiful story, right?
Absolutely.
All right. For Jude Bellingham, 3 goals for Real Madrid already.
He's slotting as a Galactico, perfect and good for Real Madrid.
Thank you so much, football fan, for slotting in. Welcome to the show.
Hello, good afternoon, Marisona. How are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you very much. Name and location.
My name is William. I'm calling from you.
Oh,
Yes. How you doing?
I'm fine. Go ahead. 25 seconds. You're out of time.
I want to comment on Manchester City that is you have seen now. Premier League has been to know who is going to be top 4 and those who is going to be lifted the trophy. But I see the Man City taking a chance again to do it again as we used to do. We are roaming in the jungles of sports fairs in all over the world. As you know, we started, we know who's who.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for talking to us, Blyden. That's the end of the show. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Blyden. Thank you, Mfon, for being a part of the conversation. Happy birthday to Ediko Okon, one of us at the office. We wish you the very best of your day. That's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a lovely evening. My name is Marizona, Isaac officially. And Blyden came on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Right, so hook up there. Mfonitina is Mfonitina on Facebook too. So catch up your favorite OAPs. Have a lovely Monday. Be outside.